We figured out how to pay Floyd. We'll figure out how to pay you too, Tyson.
Dana White has publicly challenged Tyson Fury to an MMA fight against Jon Jones, saying that the Brit should sign the dotted line if he wants to prove that he's the baddest man on the planet. As far as money's concerned, the UFC president said that he'll figure it out how to pay the Gypsy King.
All these boxing guys want to talk about this, and they want to keep it in the ring. I'm telling Tyson Fury, whom I respect very much, if you really want to find out who the baddest man on the planet is, I will make that fight. I will make Jon Jones versus Tyson Fury in the octagon. And, we'll figure out. We figured out how to pay Floyd. We'll figure out how to pay you too, Tyson. So the offer is out there.
Hours after Dana's media talk, Jake Paul debunked both of his claims. One, that Jon Jones is the baddest man on the planet, and two, that Dana was the one who paid Floyd Mayweather for his boxing match against Conor McGregor in 2017. Quote, "Wasn't Dana the same person who said, 'If I'm Jon Jones watching Francis Ngannou, I'm moving to 185 pounds?' Yes, he 100% was. So Francis Ngannou is the baddest man on the planet. Dana confirmed that while he controlled Francis. Dana sits there talking about, 'I don't do gimmick fights, that's not what we do over here.' But then he announces an arbitrary belt like the BMF to try and steal away attention from Francis joining the PFL. Now he's desperately trying to book Tyson Fury to come into the cage. Oh, and you didn't pay Floyd, you paid Conor." While Jake Paul believes Francis Ngannou is the baddest dude on the planet, he has nothing but respect for Jon Jones. And the celebrity boxer hopes that the two icons of the sport will lock horns one day. Quote, "Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou are both amazing athletes, but some people would have you believe differently depending on what narrative they need to push and who they're negotiating against. I'm still hopeful we can find a way to get them in the cage together." Chael Sonnen trolls the UFC's inaugural heavyweight champion Mark Coleman, but before we find out why, please take a moment to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Thank you. Mark Coleman recently announced that he's signed an agreement with Celebrity Boxing and he'll be fighting by the end of this year.
Mark the Hammer Coleman here. Big news. I just signed a contract with Celebrity Boxing. Johnny Pump, baby! Yeah. They were tweaking the rules. Sober is cool. Carnivore diet. Hammer House for life!
Here's how Chael Sonnen reacted to Coleman's announcement.
And I followed Mark Coleman closely. I followed him back when he was a national champion at Ohio State. World silver medalist on a freestyle team. He was our Olympian in 1992. I'm surprised how few people know that. In 1992, Mark Coleman was our Olympian. For the next Olympics, Mark Coleman got beat. It was almost an upset. He got beat. He was no longer the top guy. The top guy became in kind of an upset. It was a really competitive matches. Every time they were very competitive. Kurt Angle made the team, but he brought home the gold medal, and Mark was right there with Kurt. That's how good Mark was. Stuff you don't even know before he got into MMA. Big believer in Mark Coleman. Love it. Two things he's not: a celebrity and a boxer. So that's the irony in this.
Coleman doesn't have an opponent yet, but he recently said that he'd love to fight Conor McGregor in the boxing ring. McGregor accepted the challenge in a since-deleted tweet. Days later, Coleman called out McGregor once again, saying that he'd smash him in any form of combat.
10-mile walk, hour Muay Thai. I'm getting ready. I'm 100% serious, everybody. 1,000%. Conor McGregor, the notorious one. Let's go. Let's find out. MMA, bare knuckle boxing, pro wrestling, buddy. I'll smash you in pro wrestling. I'll smash you in all of them. Or how about Matt Brown? More your size, a little bigger than you though. Matthew Mortar Brown, the KO King, wants some of you. So do I. We all do. You know it. You're the best. You're the GOAT. I'm the original king. Sober is cool. Carnivore diet, 9 ancestral tenets. Hammer House for life.
Here's Mark Coleman shadowboxing for his debut.
No, God! No! God, please, no! No!
Does the MMA legend look good? Ben Askren thinks seeing is believing when it comes to Conor McGregor. McGregor is expected to face Michael Chandler sometime in late 2023 following the airing of The Ultimate Fighter Season 31. Recently, the Irishman revealed that he wants to fight 3 to 4 times a year. But Ben Askren would be really surprised if that actually happens.
Now listen, I am not under the belief that Conor McGregor's ever going to fight regularly. I just saw he came out and said, I'm going to fight 3 or 4 times in the next year. That ain't going to happen.
You don't think so?
He's fought 4 times in 6 years. Why would he fight 3 or 4 times in 1 year? That's crazy talk. You know, I'm not even convinced he's fighting Michael Chandler.
Askren also said that McGregor is being delusional if he thinks he's still a top-level fighter, because he's not.
I think Conor, in his delusions of grandeur, probably still sees himself at the top of the heap and probably still sees himself getting another belt.
Boom, roasted.
The UFC hasn't officially announced a date or venue for Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler, and this is what Dana White had to say when he was asked about it.
The one thing that you guys have to understand is this kid has so much money. It's like Habib now. It's like these guys got shit loads of money, and it's hard to, it's hard to reel these guys back in and get them fired up, get in a fight.
Time for a big fight announcement. After smothering Jair Zinho Rozenstruik in his most recent fight, Jailton Almeida is all set to face perennial heavyweight contender Curtis Blaydes at UFC Sao Paulo on November 4th. According to ESPN, contracts have not been issued, but both sides have verbally agreed to a 5-round main event that will take place in Almeida's home country. Curtis Blaydes was recently asked about Almeida, and this is what he had to say.
I think he's a specialist. He's very good at the submissions and grappling, the takedown. We haven't seen a lot of his entire MMA game, but he hasn't had to use anything else. So I think, and also heavyweight, anybody can be a title contender, especially when you're an American. You win 4 fights, you're automatically a contender. So yeah, he can definitely be a contender.
Almeida is the hottest prospect turned contender in the heavyweight division right now, with a record of 19 wins and 2 losses. He has finished each of his 5 opponents in the UFC, with 3 submissions and 2 TKO wins to his name. Who do you think will win the fight? Logan Paul recently made headlines after he posted footage of his sparring sessions with UFC champions Israel Adesanya and Alex Volkanovski. Turns out, it was only half the story. A few days ago, Paul took to his Twitter to reveal there's a lot more that was going on behind the scenes, like Logan offering a sponsorship deal to both Volkanovski and Adesanya with his drink company, Prime Hydration. Prime Hydration was launched by Logan Paul and fellow YouTuber KSI in 2022. A few months after its launch, the company signed a deal with the UFC, becoming the official sports drink of the promotion and an official partner of the UFC Performance Institute. Logan Paul has a pretty good relationship with the UFC and Dana White. The other Paul, he's just a pain in the ass for the UFC president. That's all we have for you today, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's stories, so please write to us in the comments. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please smash that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.